Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Justin and today I am filming a video giving my thoughts, initial impressions, basically having a discussion on the major takeaways from the Grand Prix assignments for the pairs discipline for the upcoming 2022-23 Grand Prix season, the first of the new Olympic cycle. So it's very exciting. So if that interests you, then please continue watching. So I can't start off this video without mentioning who will not be competing on the Grand Prix. It is the reigning Olympic champions from China, Wenjing Sui Cong Han. They are so iconic, legendary. They are such beautiful souls inside and out. It's representative in their skating and as them as human beings. I just can't get enough of them. In fact, I just rewatched their Olympic programs on the NBC Sports YouTube page. So I recommend you all go take a look as well while it's still up because those programs were near perfection. I believe the short program was actually perfect. It gave them a world record score, rightfully so. And then the free skate just had a little bit of a hiccup on the side-by-side jumps, but that doesn't matter because everything else was there. The emotion, the technicality, the big movements, the choreography was spot on in both of their programs, and they did not hold back at all. They will be missed because no other pair right now can match their level of skating, and that's just facts. But now let's move on to the pairs who do have assignments in the Grand Prix. I don't know how to organize this. My previous videos, I did it by countries and athletes who had 2 assignments, but I don't think one country has more depth in the pairs discipline as the other. And so it might make sense just to talk about the pairs who finished in the top 10 at the last World Figure Skating Championships, which isn't everybody, and then move on from there. So let's talk about the reigning world champions, Alexa Knierim and Brandon Frazier from America. Wow, did they rise to the moment last year at the World Figure Skating Championships. The field was open, but they had to work for it still, and they delivered some of the best skates of their entire careers. We have to remember they are still a relatively new partnership, but they both individually have such depth with experience with other partners. So that just shows how great of athletes they are and how well of a partnership this came out to be because they gelled so well. Because it's not easy to get the timing right, and the lifts can be different between different partnerships, so kudos to them. And as an American fan, I am so happy that they are on top right now because the rest of the pairs field in America has dried up with all of their retirements and the partnership split up. So Alexa and Brandon, I hope they keep it together this season. They have 2 assignments, Skate America and MK John Wilson Trophy in Great Britain. And I believe they actually have a good chance at winning both of those competitions and subsequently qualifying for the Grand Prix final. So rooting for them. Also rooting for the reigning world silver medalists from Japan. They are Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. They also have 2 assignments, Skate Canada International and NHK Trophy. Those are 2 fantastic assignments, fan favorites, great locations. And overall, they are such a cute and exciting pair to watch. They've definitely become more competitive and consistent over the past few seasons. Last season being that they won medals on the Grand Prix for the first time. They won both medals at both of their competitions. So that was exciting. And I'd say they are a fan favorite, clearly because they love what they do, and that transcends onto the audience. It's just a shame looking at the roster for NHK Trophy that there's only one assignment for Japan at NHK Trophy for pairs, but you know what? Maybe that can change in the future with the influence from this pair. One can hope. And then we have the 4th place finishers from the last World Championships, Karina, Safina, and Luca Berlava. They are a really young pair from Georgia. I believe they're both under 20 years old at the time of me filming this, and also a relatively new pair. They produce I think one of the highest pairs results for Georgia by winning the World Junior Championships in the same season. So they have got some good experience under their belt for being so young and coming up as seniors. They are a very capable pair that just needs some time to feel a little more comfortable in their elements and to just refine their moves here and there. But they have the ability to produce a very high technical score in their programs because their elements can be impressive when they're done cleanly. They'll be at the Grand Prix de France and the Grand Prix Espoo in Finland, so those should be some good assignments for them. There's a lot of Russian influence that I see in their skating, and that's no surprise considering who they've worked with on their team. So that means that if they're clean, matched with their dramatic programs, it'll definitely make an impact on the Grand Prix this season, especially with the lack of Russian pairs being present. And then we have finishing in 8th place at Worlds were the French national champions, Camille and Pavel Kovalev, who are a married pair. And I have to give a much belated congratulations to them for placing in the top 10 and earning 2 spots for French pairs next season at the World Figure Skating Championships. They're not so impressive with their technical elements, but they did have a solid outing at the last World Championships. It might have helped being in front of a home crowd, so that should give them a boost for continuing to train and to work harder for this upcoming season. Now, they are coming up on about 10 years of experience with competing, so they are representing longevity and maturing in the sport, and that is something we love to see. And their 2 assignments are Grand Prix de France and NHK Trophy. So again, in front of the home crowd, that should be very exciting for them. I wish them the best of luck this season for improving because we all like a good story like theirs. Then in 9th place from Worlds last year, we have Daria Danilova and Mikkel Tsiba from the Netherlands. They aren't exactly known for being consistent in their programs. In fact, most skating fans will probably remember that they skated to the Friends theme song for the free skate, more so. But they have 2 Grand Prix assignments, and actually probably Grand Prix assignments for the first time in their careers. So they'll be at Skate America and the Grand Prix in Finland. So it's nice to see representation from small federations on the Grand Prix. So all other pairs that finished in the top 10 at Worlds last season either are not competing or retired or split up. So now we can move on to some other assignments that I'm really excited about for pairs. Do you know what my first one is? Do you? Okay, it is my pair girl, Deanna Stellato-Dudek. She and her partner, Maxime Deschamps, have Grand Prix assignments. Not only that, I'm glad to see that she can finally compete internationally representing Canada. Oh, yes. I just love her so much. Their 2 Grand Prix assignments are Skate America and the Grand Prix de France. Maybe at Skate America, she can feel like she's skating in front of her home country. I mean, she technically is, so that should be exciting for her. They are the reigning Canadian bronze medalists, and they actually may be the top Canadian pair right now with the recent retirement of Evelyn Walsh and Trent McCaw. That's a big bummer. But I am 100% behind that because Deanna is a hero for coming back to the sport after taking so many years off. I think the number that's quoted a lot is 16 years to compete in a new discipline to reach her Olympic dreams. She is my hero and I am 100% rooting for them. Also, Deanna, if you're watching this, hello. Maxime, you're also cool. And then we have the very competitive and accomplished Chinese pair, Chang Peng and Yang Jin. I don't think there's too much to say about them that I haven't already said, besides the fact that I'm glad they're continuing to compete this season, and I anticipate them doing well. I anticipate them qualifying for the Grand Prix final and continuing to make skating fans smile because they always appear to enjoy themselves in every program they are assigned to the Grand Prix de France and Grand Prix Espoo. And I believe they are actually the top Chinese pair competing this season. Unfortunate that there's no Cup of China for them to skate in front of a home crowd, but they have such sound technique, usually have good programs, great experience, that they're going to do well and qualify for the Grand Prix final this season. And then we move on to Americans. I am so stoked for Emily Chan and Spencer Howe to have 2 assignments. They really caught my attention last year at US Nationals when they came in 4th. They were just so exciting and dynamic, especially Spencer. He is a real performer, but they do work well as a pair, so I like them together. They placed 4th at Nationals, and then they were 2nd at 4 continents. So these 2 assignments are definitely well deserved for them. They will be at Skate Canada and NHK Trophy. So that's all I have for my notes. Let me take a look to see if anything else catches my eye. I mean, it's good to see Australia have some representation in pairs on the Grand Prix. I see Harley Windsor has an assignment at NHK Trophy with a new partner, Maria. And then there's another Australian pair that will be at Skate America. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. Otherwise, Skate Canada may have some scrambling to do to fill up some pair spots. 2 spots to be exact. So good luck to those Canadian pairs getting those opportunities. And yeah, if I miss anything, please let me know. But otherwise, it should be pretty exciting to watch the pairs. Like I said, each event kind of seems like it's an even playing field, so who knows what the Grand Prix final will look like. Alright, that is all for today. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in another one soon. Thank you and goodbye.